Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today we're taking a look at the top 16 deck lists from Italy, the Spring Lore League 2025. 434 players, a huge field. This event took place on the 29th of March, so I'm a couple of days late reporting on this. Apologies for that. Mama Villain has very much needed my attention the last couple of days, but I've been saying for a while that I was going to cover this. These are great people. I had the pleasure of being invited. How long ago was it now? Maybe 6 months, maybe less than that, but I was invited along to one of the prior lore leagues to cast and stream it on my channel, and it was such a fantastic event. The players were great, the entire staff, the casters, everyone involved with the organisation of it are all absolutely incredible people, so I'm very keen to support them as much as I can. That being said, I have been also a little bit hesitant to record and upload this video because, let's just bite the bullet straight away, out of all these top 16 deck lists, only one is not a Sapphire list. Which I know is going to be very frustrating for a lot of people, and I know a lot of people have just been skipping the recaps of any Sapphire decks in general, which is totally understandable. I respect your right to do that. But when you look at a top 16 like this, where it's nearly all blue, you think to yourself as a creator, like, oh, this video just isn't going to go over well. So there is that temptation of like, oh, should I just not cover it? But I don't think that's right to do for a couple of reasons. One, because, again, shout out to Lore League, who are incredible people. This is a huge pool of data, and they absolutely deserve coverage for a start. Another thing is that I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to, quote-unquote, hide the problem. Now, from pretty early on in set 7, a lot of people were saying that Sapphire is just out of hand and it is a problem. And I'm not going to say that I didn't agree with that, but I've always stood by the idea of like, hey, let's at least give it a chance. You never know what someone's going to come up with. Maybe it won't be as bad as we thought. We've had quite a few events now, and Sapphire, in my opinion, it does seem to be quote-unquote a problem. It is absolutely everywhere, and if I don't cover this, then it's like I'm trying to hide that issue, and if it is an issue and a lot of people agree it's an issue, then we want to highlight it, right? So I'm still going to cover this event, and for those reasons, if you are one of those people who are displeased by this amount of Sapphire, I totally get it. Please don't attack the video as a result of it. Feel free to comment down below and leave your opinions and your thoughts, but please don't tank my video. That being said, another piece of admin that I want to discuss before we get into the lists is we recently had a comment on the channel, which I would like to talk about for a moment. As you see here, I get it. We get it. We all get it. You love these songs. Please don't sing. Now, my villains, this channel is about 1.5 years old, maybe just over. We'll be 2 in August. So yeah, about 1.5 years old, just over, just under. And in all that time, I've always said I am super lucky and grateful for the support that I've received, that the channel has received. I could count the amount of actually mean comments on one hand. Anything quote-unquote negative has been constructive feedback. It's always been put politely, and generally speaking, audience have always been fantastic to me, and I'm super grateful for that. And that being said, I don't think this is rude either. This is just a simple request, so please no one come after this person, because it's absolutely fine to have this opinion. There will be people out there that don't like the singing, but I did reply that the ratio tells me that I shouldn't stop, because far more people, and like I said, this is the first time someone's actually commented something like this. I'm sure there are more people out there who don't like the singing, and I imagine they just don't watch the channel, which is also fine. So in honor of this prestigious moment, I'm going to try and sing at least a line or two of song for every single deck list that we look at today. Before we do, a shout out to the channel sponsor, Cardmarket. If you're looking for Lorcana singles at competitive rates, then check out Cardmarket. But let's look at some top 16 deck lists. So starting us off in first place, we have Luca with some Sapphire Steel. This is a Lucky Dime heavy item package version, not a Kiwi Bird version or like an Artabax style interpretation of the Kiwi Bird deck. We've got 1 copy of Lucky Dime, our item package, the 4th Porp, the 4th Autosphere, of course. 4 copies of Last Cannon is quite rare, so putting a lot of emphasis on this, and 2 copies of Shield of Arendelle, obviously the resist one that you get from Shield Shield of Arundel for a round is pretty good. It keeps Tamatoa out of Zeus range, and this last cannon helping some of your smaller bodies take out bigger bodies, opposing big Tamatoas, well, at least the 6 cost. Maybe the 8 cost, if you're at least combining a couple of attacks. Scrooge even, plus the Challenger 3 is only hitting for 7, which is unfortunate, but maybe you do that and then you sing Storm or something like that. But yeah, these items always going to be good when you're running 4 copies of Scrooge. We've not got the big Tamatoa, but we've got the 6 cost, so we can recycle them, Flavisham, and of course the bells in here. We've got 4 McDuck Mana, 2 copies of Benja respecting those items, and we're seeing 3 copies of Aerial Treasure Collector, who is gaining a lot of popularity lately. 6 cost uninkable, 3/4 quest for 3, Ward, and while you have more items in play than your opponent, she gets +2 lore, so questing for 5, and that in conjunction with a Lucky Dime can give you big bursts of lore. I think I mentioned the Benja respecting the items. Only 2 copies of Storm. It's not great against opposing Sapphire decks, like if you are seeing Emerald, Amber, Amethyst cards, then these Storms are really, really good. But if you're expecting a lot of Sapphire in the room, then they're just not as great, at least in 4s. So a few people opting to cut a copy or 2 of these. 4 strength, of course, it's inkable, and 3 copies of Then Along Came Zeus, he held his Thunderbolt. Alright, let's do that one. Back when the world was new, and planet Earth was down on its luck, and everywhere gigantic brutes, thrilled titans ran amok. It was a nasty place. There was a mess wherever you stepped, where chaos raved and earthquakes and volcanoes never slept. Whoa, sing it, girlfriend. And then along came Zeus. There we go. I kind of cringe, but I don't even care. Nonetheless, congratulations to Luca on 1st place. We'll do all the blue steals in a row. In top 4, we've got Silvio. This looks very reminiscent of the Artabax version of Kiwi Bird. A lot more aggressive mid-range, but we're seeing those 4 copies of Grand Martala and 4 copies of Long Came Zeus for a bit more board control. 4 copies of Cogsworth here as well, giving that blanket resist is certainly going to help out in the mirror. And we've got nice cheap characters like Hook and Calhoun to control the early game. So yeah, deck looks super good. Congratulations to Silvio. Be a man, you must be swift as the coursing river. Be a man with all the force of a great typhoon. Be a man with all the strength of a raging fire. Mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Our next Sapphire Steel deck in top 16. Not going to even attempt to say this first name, but shout out to you, my friend. 61 cards in this deck. We are seeing Fishbone Quill and Maurice's Workshop, so we're looking to ramp very aggressively. No wheel in here, though, but of course, just Flavisham can be all the draw power that we need in conjunction with the Maurice's Workshop, drawing its extra cards whenever we play our heavy item pool. 2 copies of Fire the Cannons for some more early game removal. 2 copies of Hades for some late game removal and a way to get around things like Pete. 2 Cogsworth in here, and along with the rest of the usual... Oh, free Tinkerbell. I was about to say usual suspects, but Tinkerbell isn't very usual suspects these days. I kind of like it. And 3 copies of Jim Hawkins, who of course gets Challenger 2 every time you ramp, which can be multiple times in a turn, courtesy of Tipo, Sail, and Fishbone Quill. So a Workshop variant of the deck doing well here. Congratulations to them. Okay, with a lot of the decks looking the same, I'm already getting worried that I'm going to run out of songs to sing. Let's take advantage of the Jim Hawkins. I am a question to the world, not an answer to be heard, or a moment that's held in your arms. And what do you think you'd ever say? I won't listen anyway. You don't know me, and I'll never be what you want me to be. Next up in top 16, we've got Manuel. This version of the deck being a lot closer to the original Kiwi Bird list. Shout out to Justin and Harlan Sweet. We've got the Alice in here with the Savvy Sailor with Ward and gives Ward and a Lore Pip when she quests. We've got 3 copies of Doc here to be our primary draw engine. We've got 2 copies of Jafar as well, gaining some popularity. The Aspiring Ruler, who's a 3-cost inkable 3/2, quest for 2, and gives a character Challenger 2 on play. So we know giving Challenger is pretty good, like we're used to Crab doing 3, but even 2 is pretty good, and the fact that this character quest for 2 is not bad at all in this aggressive deck. 4 copies of Mulan for one of our 1-drops, along with the Porpskull in the Photosphere if we want to develop a body or just want to filter through our deck with her effect. Looks super good. Congratulations to Manuel. Alright, I guess we take advantage of Doc here. I don't know the lyrics to every single Disney song that ever existed, by the way. We dig, 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 got mine the whole day through. To dig, 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 dig is what we like to do. It ain't no trick to get rich quick if you dig, dig, dig with a shovel or pick. In a mine, in a mine, in a mine, in a mine, where a million diamonds shine. There you go. Also in top 16, on a very similar version, we've got Marco with that Kiwi bird list here. We're seeing 2 copies of Baymax, who's a 5-cost Inkable 2/6, quest for 2, and on play and on quest, you can heal up to 2 damage to gain that much lore. An excuse for a lot of players to take advantage of their Continentals promos, but yeah, a lot of similar suspects here. Congratulations to Marco. Alright. Baymax, still kind of wild that Fall Out Boy is a Disney song. I try to picture me without you, but I can't, 'cause we could be immortals, immortals, just not for long, and live with me forever now, pull the blackout curtains down, just not for long, we could be immortals. Next up in top 16, we've got, I don't know if it's Michelle or Mikkel, but shout out to you. Very similar to the list we just looked at, but this the more Artabax variant with the Grand Martalas and the Along Came Zeus. I'm definitely going to run out of songs. Let's go with the Porpsicle. I won't give up, no I won't give in, till I reach the end, then I'll start again. No, I won't leave, I want to try everything, I want to try even though I could fail. Next up in top 16, another blue steel mid-range deck taking advantage of both Grand Martala and the Zeuses, and 3 copies of Alice Savvy Sailor. We've got Plutos in here, Hooks and Calhouns to control the early game. Other than that, pretty cookie cutter. Alright, I've been holding off on the Tamatoa because I knew it was going to be in most of the decks, but let's do it now. Well, Tamatoa hasn't always been this clam. I was a dab little crab once. Now I know I can't be happy as a clam, because I'm beautiful, baby. Did your granny say listen to your heart, be who you are on the inside? I need 3 words to tear our argument apart. Your granny lied. I'd rather be shiny, like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck. Scrub the deck and make it look shiny. I will sparkle like a wealthy woman's neck. Just a sec, don't you know? And our final Sapphire Steel list to look at today, in top 16, we've got Ying, the more Kiwi bird version. We're not running Grand Martalas or Zeuses. We've got that Alice package, 1 copy of Doc for some card draw. But we're also seeing 3 copies of Wendy Darling, who's a 3-cost Inkable 3/1 quest for 2. She has Ward and Support. That Ward can be annoying against a lot of decks. And even the support is nothing to snuff at getting some of your characters up into the sort of range of strength that they need for some of the meta's most popular characters. And we're seeing 4 copies of the big Bodyguard Chen Po, 5-cost Inkable 4/7 quest for 1, with Bodyguard 4/7, a super tough stat line to get around, unless they've got exactly Coil plus Shift Sisu, but still a super good way to protect these lower cost, more aggressive characters that you want to protect. Alright, Chen Po, we can do another Mulan song, a girl worth fighting for, here we go. I want her paler than the moon, with eyes that shine like stars. My girl will marvel at my strength, adore my battle scars. I couldn't care less what she'll wear or what she'll look like. It all depends on what she cooks, like beef, pork, chicken. This video is just me laughing at myself. I hope some of you have found some entertainment from it nonetheless. But we go back now to second place, the first of a few Ruby Sapphire lists. We've got Ricardo. Now this looks like a DKP sort of build. We're seeing the 3 copies of Super Goof. We've got the 4 copies of Maui Shark to take advantage of this action package. 4 copies of Develop Your Brain and 4 copies of Vision of the Future, both to filter through and find certain pieces that we need. 4 copies of Sail as well to draw an extra ramp. 1 Hideaway respecting opposing locations and items. The 4 copies of Pirate's Life. The 1 copy of Let It Go for some more removal. 1 copy of Tremaine in here is definitely not a DKP thing. thing, but it's not the first time I've seen a Tremaine in a red-blue list recently. I don't hate it. One copy of Scar Vicious Cheetah is also super cool. Nice alternative way to clean up the board if you get peated, or if it's just more beneficial to do so, because obviously B-Prep, you're wiping your own board, and he can sing B-Prep. So a really nice looking list. Right, let it go. There might be more of them, but we might not get another opportunity, so let's do it now. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this swirling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, heaven knows I tried. Next up in 4th place, we've got Jonathan going a different way with Ruby Sapphire. This is a Coil build. 4 copies of that Coil. Whenever you ink, an opposing character gets a -2 strength. This is not once per turn, so if you ink multiple times in a turn, you can do this multiple times, or just have multiple copies of it on the board, and that's going to synergize with the 4 copies of Brawl for a 2-strength character, 2 copies of Medusa for a 3-strength character, 3 copies of the small Sisu for a 1-strength character, and of course 4 copies of the Floodborn Sisu for anything with 2 strength or less. Does not target, gets around ward, quest for 3, they big girls. We've got 2 copies of Kuzco in here to be our item and location hate of choice. We're not running Shark, so this makes a lot of sense to me, being able to stick a body on board, and we are running Lucky Dime, so it's another character to work in conjunction with that. 4 copies of Tala and 4 Flavisham, obviously. 4 copies of Maui to control the board. Our action package is for sale, just 3 copies of Vision. 1 copy of Greatstone Dragon in here as well, which is a nice additional ramp tool, and especially good into the discard decks. Probably not the last Coil version we'll look at today, so a huge shout out to Jonathan. Okay. I see what's happening, yeah. You're face to face with greatness and it's strange. You don't even know how you feel. It's adorable. Well, it's nice to see that humans never change. Open your eyes, let's begin. Yes, it's really me, it's Maui. Breathe it in. I know it's a lot, the hair, the bod, when you're staring at a demigod. What can I say except you're welcome? Will this video be more singing than actually looking at lists? We'll see. In top 8, we have Raffaello, shout out to you. 61 cards, another Coil. Get the best of both worlds here. We are a Coil variant, 4 copies of Coil, 3/3 Sisu line, 2 Medusa, 4 Brawl, but we are also playing just 2 copies of that Maui Shark, 2 Vitalosphere in here, so there's no manners and no goofs, so I would, to be fair, probably not really the best of both worlds, just the Coil variant, but jamming in a little bit of this Shark package. Just 1 copy of Pirate's Life, 2 copies of Greatstone Dragon. So yeah, it looks good, just no one tell Podcarna about the 61 cards. Kuzco, we might not see him again. I've never tried to sing any of this, and this is very wordy, so I don't know how this is going to go. There are despots and dictators, political manipulators. There are blue bloods with the intellects of fleas. There are kings and petty tyrants who are so lacking in refinements. They're better suited swinging from the trees. He was born and raised to rule. No one has ever been this cool in 1,000 years of aristocracy. An enigma and a mystery, and Mesoamerican history. The quintessence of perfection that is he. It's a long song, that'll do. Next up in top 8, we've got Luca, again with a Coil variant, 4 Coil, 3/4 Sisu line, 1 Medusa, 4 Brawl. We're seeing the 2 Kuzco again. 3 copies of Maleficent Monstrous Dragon as well. First time we're looking at her today. Oh no, she was in Jonathan's 4th place list. But yeah, this coming back into Ruby Sapphire decks, just because of Sapphire being so big, you want to be able to remove the opposing Tamatoa's 6 cost or 8 cost. 1 copy of Hades in here for some removal, just 2 B prep. And we're seeing that 1 copy of Ice Block along with the 4 Sapphire Coil, which I do really like. Again, any cheap item is always justifiable in this sort of deck, and sometimes it's just the preferred curve. You'd rather play your strength reduction item on turn 1, and then on turn 2 ramp with either Tipo or Sail, and maybe play the Sapphire Coils a little later. So yeah, it looks super good. Man, I really am running out of songs. I guess we could use the Hades, although bear in mind, it doesn't have to be the character song, it just has to match the franchise. I have often dreamed of a far-off place where a hero's welcome would be waiting for me, where the crowds will cheer when they see my face, and a voice, 'Voice, 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 ' Bye! Next up in top 8, we've got Manfredi, probably saying that wrong, but a shout out to you. Again, a very similar looking list. But we are seeing one copy of Fang Crossbow, which is a 3-cost inkable item. You can exert and pay 2 to give chosen character -2 strength this turn. The original Sapphire Coil. And stay back, exert and banish the item to banish chosen dragon character. So Sisu, and with Maleficent being back in format, that is a pretty good live target for this Fang Crossbow. And it's just an alternative way of getting this Sapphire Coil effect off. Obviously, you have to pay 2 ink for it, which isn't great. But it's also just another item. But we're also playing one copy of Merlin's Carpet Bag. 5-cost inkable item. Exert, pay 1, return an item card from your discard to your hand. So even if you're just using this to get back Popsicles, and then that's pretty great. But there's Vitalispheres in here. Get back this crossbow, so you've got multiple ways to use this removal. So looks pretty cool. For Develop Your Brain over Vision of the Future, I think is interesting. Especially without Shark. I mean, with Shark, I think you just play both. But yeah, I think I'd prefer these to be visions, but nonetheless, this deck did very well in a huge field. Let's not forget, over 400 players. And again, we're having a bit of fun with today's video. We're doing some singing, and obviously, I think even the players here will understand why some of these players may themselves be sick of these decks. But nonetheless, I want to give shout out and respects to these players, even if the majority of the room was Sapphire, Ruby, or Sapphire Steel decks. And these were the players that made it through, again, a very, very large field. So I want to make it clear, my respects to all of these players. We're just trying to have a little bit of fun with a bit of a sing-song today. Alright, Merlin's Carpet Bag. We can do Sword in the Stone. Higatus, Figatus, Zumbus a King. I want your attention, everything. We're packing to leave, come on, let's go. No, not you. Books are always first, you know. Hockety pockety wockety whack. Abracadabra dabra knack. Shrink its eyes very small. We've got to save enough room for all. I love Merlin. Hockety pockety wockety whack. Odds and ends and bric-a-brac. Dumba-doodly doodly dum. Hickatus fickatus fickatus mum. Prestidigitonium. Hickatus fickatus fickatus mum. Prestidigitonium. I'm definitely saying that wrong. Next up in top 16, we've got Giovanni on some Ruby Sapphire Coil, a 2-line special, 4 copies of the Big Bad Malefic, 4 copies of absolutely everything. This is super, super neat. A huge shout out to Giovanni. Right, I've been saving this how far I'll go because I knew it was going to be in most of the decks, so let's do that one now. I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try. For those of you that are musically gifted, I know I'm in the wrong key for some of these. It's hard without a piano around, okay? But there we go. And our final Ruby Sapphire list in this event, we've got Alessandro. We've already looked at this exact build with the one Fang Crossbow, the one Merlin's Carpet Bag before Develop Your Brain. So there you go. I was saying I'd prefer the Vision, but 2 players taking this build all the way to top 16, over 400 players, which is pretty spicy, this Fang Crossbow and Merlin's Carpet Bag. Like, you can see the utility, sure, right, but far from common, I would say, so this is great. Alright, I've been keeping this one in my back pocket in case I got stuck. Flaversham. Who knows what film he's from? From the brain that brought you the big bed caper, the head that made headlines in every newspaper, and wondrous things like the Tower Bridge job, that cunning display that made London a sob. And now comes the real tour de force, tricky and wicked of course. My earlier crimes were fine for their times, but now that I'm at it again, and even grimmer plot has been simmering in my great criminal brain. Even meaner, you mean it, worse than the widows and orphans you drowned. And our final list to look at today, the only one which was not a Sapphire build. Shout out to those of you that have jumped straight here. You missed a lot of singing, which may be a good thing for some of you. We've got Luca with some Emerald Amber Under the Sea. Take a wild guess what we're singing at the end of this one. So yeah, this discard deck, we have the Diablo package in here, 4/4 line, the Prince John to draw cards when the opponent discards. In that vein, we have 4 copies of You Have Forgotten, may make our opponent discard 2 cards. 4 copies of Bare Necessities, which is a song, and and we can discard a non-character card of our choice. We've got 4 copies of Sudden Chill. No Ursula 3 to double sing these. Also 4 copies of We Don't Talk About Bruno, which is also discard, but is also one of some of the best spot removal for this deck. We've got Ariel to find these these songs, 4 copies of Muses with that ward and the Gospel Truth. Whenever you sing a song, you can bounce a character of 2 strength or less to the owner's hand. If that's an opposing character, then great. We've got lots of songs to do this, including Painting the Roses Red, which lowers the strength of 2 characters by 1, so you can get characters into this range, or you could just be bouncing back your own Ariel, your own Ursula 2-drop to snipe more songs, find more songs, things like that. 3 copies of Kida to give you hopefully a free questing turn. On play, the strength of all characters on board is reduced by 3 into the start of your next turn, and 2 copies of Cricky to have nice challenging turns from some of our smaller bodies, and he in himself quests for 3. 2 copies of the Hidden Cove to mess up our opponent's maths, and 3 copies of Under the Sea. 8 cost uninkable, sing together 8, puts all opposing characters of 2 strength or less at the bottom of their player's deck in any order. And there's a lot of characters that already fit this bill, but as I mentioned, Painting the Roses Red can help lower the strength of characters, and of course Kida lowering everything by 3 is going to be the main way that you get this online. And of course this is sing together, so you could have a couple of your 4-drop singing, or Sing It, or a Cricky, and a 3-drop, whatever you like. I'm not normally one to root for a discard deck, but shout out to this player for making it through the Sapphire storm and all the way to top 8. So a shout out to you, my friend. The seaweed is always greener on somebody else's lake. You dream about going up there, but that is a big mistake. Just look at the world around you, right there on the ocean floor. Such wonderful things around you. What more is you looking for? Under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better down when it's wetter. Take it from me. Up on the shore they work all day, out in the sun they slave away, while we devoting full time to floating under the sea. And that is it. So what could have probably been a 15-20 minute video has turned into well over half an hour, maybe closer to 40 minutes. Some of you would have hated that, and shout out to you, but I hope some of y'all were a little bit entertained. We had some fun. Again, not great to see so many Sapphire lists in this top 16, even though this is a huge event. Again, shout out to Lore League, fantastic people, and a shout out to all these players for doing really, really well. But yeah, they're covering so much Sapphire so much of the time is for sure becoming a little bit tedious, but I will continue to do it and hopefully have some fun along the way. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below, but do please hit the like button for me. Hopefully I've given you a few reasons to this episode, but that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana, hit that like button to show support, and we'll see you soon.